Greetings, everyone. Nick Yusofian, aka Nick is You So Fine here, and we have another movie review. We're not using the Sea of Tranquility opening. We're just gonna get straight into it this time, per my straight to the point, succinct nature. The 1950s, quite a wondrous time to be alive. Very specifically for the entertainment industry. And what better way than the creature features, especially with them from 1954, 74 years ago. By far the best of the 1950s cycle of creature features, says David Pine of Time Out Film Guide. Man has split the atom and ushered in a new era, but how could he know he would also create them? Them. 1954 is a landmark movie about giant radiation mutated ants that gets better with age and boasts remarkable Academy Award nominated special effects, starring James Whitmore, James Arness, and Edmund Gwynn. Them begins in New Mexico with a cold child wandering in shock, a ransacked general store, and a battered corpse full enough of formic acid to kill 20 men, and it ends with an epic struggle in the 700 miles of storm drains under Los Angeles, where the insect hordes are beaten, but they're not conquered because they spawned a generation of films about radioactive creatures. Some approximate the terror, but few have equaled the artistry in them. And I can agree. This is definitely it's just such a good movie. I mean, really. Everything about this, it still holds up fantastically well. It's like, okay, and you're wondering, well, Mr. You So Fine, how is this still hold up? Let's go over, obviously, the special effects. The special effects here are fantastic. We have stop motion, we have the giant ants. And when you look at these giant ants, you're thinking, these are impressive suckers. You know, it's like, obviously, they look big, but, you know, they have the mandibles coming around, going and pincing on them. And when you see the three of them on the screen, you're just thinking, holy smokes, these things are quite large. They're just so large and so good. It captivates and terrifies the screen. But they also have their own ecosystem at the same time. You can just imagine just this colossal network of just passages and everything, and like the feeding room, the queen room, the ante room, everything there. Just they give these ants have enough personality, including the queens. They are very viable threats rather than just one or two things that come by and are quickly forgotten about, like the thing that conquered the planet. Of course, you can only have ants for so much. So how does that lead with the human characters? The human characters are pretty good, although when you have a general, you have a female entomologist, you have a person, and the father is also an entomologist, who kind of control the screen. Very specifically, what I saw is when they got the older guy, I don't know who portrays him, to espouse information. It feels like he's giving enough away, adding more towards the danger. Yes, in all these films, you're going to have the expert, whether if it's Sam Loomis, whether if it's the guy who in the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, or the paleontologist in Godzilla. Yes, you're going to have them, but here, I don't know, just like how he commands the screen enough, very specifically during a meeting where he describes everything and kind of gives the order button in a non-threatening way. Although, him trying to learn helicopter lingo of saying, like, hey, this is, what was that? Helicopter Alpha to Helicopter Bravo, even though they were, like, right near there. So you have to do it against the rules. He has a little fit, because he says because he doesn't want to say over, and then finally he says, and then you have to say over and out, and then he has a little pout, like, so I don't know. That was just kind of funny to me. It's like, you know, he's got enough this doctor has enough of a personality to make him probably the one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable character. Which I like him. I like the actor puts in. It's like it's not like an award-winning performance, but it's enough to stand out against amongst all the other expositionists or espousers, I think is the word. Which, yeah, I like his personality. And his daughter, Pat, is also there. I don't know who plays her, and honestly, I really don't care. She's like, she's down there with the military officials and everything, so it's progressive enough for the 1950s where, maybe some woman would ultimately become entomologists in the days because they saw this lady here. So, it was pretty cool to see. And obviously, you have some people who are doing research. It's like they're pretty much the kind of stock trope characters. Mate. Although we do get kind of we do get a couple of scenes where there's a bunch of alcoholics who are admitted into a hospital, and they do act lively, which I liked for whatever reason. I don't know. Even though they have like acute alcohol poisoning, there's enough wit and humor about them saying like, "Oh, I'm going to be in charge of the booze, General or Sergeant." So that was kind of funny, but it also is still lucid enough to say where he saw all the nurse doctors and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, not the doctors, but to see all the ants that could fly. Okay then. So yeah, I'll admit there is enough levity in this movie to just make it stand out, to make it stand out from the pack, because the characters here are funny, and there's also a running joke of how they're like, one guy is like, hey, it was like, why did you disturb my day off? Like there's a joke of like how things are being run on a Sunday of all things. Like there's this one guy complaining, you kind of disrupted my day off. What did the guy steal? A bunch of sugar. Okay. I don't know why. And they also said, what is up with the secret meeting at 3 a.m. in the morning? Why are you having meetings conducted on a Monday? And where in the heck is the sugar that's being going on? So, of course, ants are always attracted to sugar, which will always make sure that your home doesn't have too much sugar on the ground. So, I don't know. That was funny enough to see for me. James Arness is also in this, and I really didn't see him stand out. He was, I know more from the Western and also the Thing from Another World. Leonard Nimoy, actually, I think one of his earliest roles. He plays a newscaster telling a story as a teletyper or something like that. I don't know. So long before he did this, he was helping out with helping the world get rid of ants, which I found to be. But yeah, obviously when you have the 12-foot ants, they do look intimidating enough. You're like, they managed to have the effects team managed to have 12-foot long ants. Then they go and describe their hierarchy of saying like, hey, they have how the ant, like how the queen is the one who is entailing and telling the ants in their own language, like, hey, here's the structure, here's how exactly you're going to do things, and just saying like it's so civilized and everything else that eventually these ants would become the new dominant entity on the planet versus Homo sapiens. So I think this is because they got mutated from the atomic bomb testings down in New Mexico. So obviously there's the warning of what happens with all the bombs and everything, and maybe a little bit of the Red Scare. I don't know. I didn't really see it that much, but maybe one can glean some information from it, which I found to be, there. I mean, obviously, this is when tensions were high with Russia, and nuclear power was coming from there. So it was interesting to see how things were going in the 1950s. Obviously, the way the filmmaking done. The director, I found to be a funny piece of trivia, was that Gordon Douglas asked the production team, how do these ants look? And they said they look honest. And like, how honest are they? As honest as 12-foot tall or long ants can. So I'm just like, Honest Ants. Forget you, Honest Dave. Here's some Honest Ants. But yeah, obviously, this is the 1950s, so black and white may turn some people off, but given the pacing, the funny dialogue, the pretty good characters that I liked, and the special effects, honestly, this really is truly top tier entertainment. Still holds up really, really gosh darn well. And yeah, with all that being said, do I recommend you watch them? Oh, heck yeah, and it has an exclamation point.